So what does it mean to do self-inquiry? Well, really it can be boiled down to two fundamental aspects. One is to be aware of present experience. In other words, to see what's going on in this moment, not to buy what your mind says is going on, but to see what's actually going on. I had an experience many years ago in which I received the teaching, the way to happiness, the way to freedom is to, when you're happy, say you're happy. When you're sad, say you're sad. This is the way to freedom. In other words, what is that? That's the beginning of what we call the A statement. It's to be aware of what's happening. See, when you're sad or when you're angry, your angry mind starts spitting out all kinds of data. Say you're angry at X. It'll spit out all kinds of data. X is this, X is that, X is that, X is that. Look what he did, look what she did, this is this. And it'll give all that data. That data is highly dubious. The real truth is, I'm angry. That cuts away all of that stuff and just goes back to the truth. So when you're happy, say you're happy. When you're sad, say you're sad. Be present. Be one with your experience. Understand the seed under the thought form. Because when you feel angry, the thoughts will be angry thoughts. When you feel depressed, the thoughts will be depressed thoughts. And this is the way the mind works. So get to the seed, and if you can transform the seed, then you transform all the output of it too. So first thing is be aware. The second thing is to have faith in the self. Great faith in the self. And of course I was very fortunate because Baba was a person who had total faith in the self. He lived in the self, he breathed in the self, and when you were with him, you felt the presence of the self. The self is ever blissful, it's ever free, and it's ever present. Even if we're depressed, the self is present, though hidden. Even if we're angry, the self is present. Even if we feel powerless, the self is present. This is the teaching of the great sages. What a great teaching it is. It doesn't say you're a sinner, you're this, you're that. It says you're in your deepest nature, you're noble, you're perfect. And that nature is present also, though we may not see it. So have faith. Even if you're in misery, have faith that the self is there. And so once I met Baba, I acquired that faith. Which it certainly doesn't mean I didn't go up and down through terrible states of depression and despair and so on. But I had no doubt that somehow I was doing it to myself. My own twisted thought process was bringing me to this impasse when really behind that veil the self was perfect. So this teaching says don't accept misery. Don't accept suffering. It's not who you really are. Inquire into it. If there is contraction, if there is suffering, inquire into it with a view to rediscovering and reconnecting with that self that's there, with the peace of the self. So I think those two things. Can you remember that much? Huh? Be present to what your present experience is, but also know that that perfection is with you. Not attainable after many years, far away. It's here and now. And you may not be able to get to it all the time, because the maya, the ignorance, will outweigh the power of your yoga. Sometimes our yoga is weak compared to the power of ignorance. Our ignorance is strong. But like in any good movie, the good guys win in the end. So you chip away, you hack away, you work at it day by day, and you build your strength, your wisdom power. You build that strength until finally you win the day. And trust me, if you make the effort, if you daily practice, if you do inquiry, if you meditate in a daily way, you will gain ground in this area, and you will start to overcome these negative tendencies. You'll transform yourself.